I don't know if they're going to come on right now or not, but they have the invite.
Oh, is that your beer?
Did you just take a drink?
I don't think so.
All right, looks like we are live. Hey guys, welcome to the Stunner Party stream. We are joined today by Noah and Jubilee from Aravaipa. We got some other special guests we'll get to here in just a minute. We've got some live action from the course. This event is so new. We actually haven't had the Stunner night runs in person yet, so we haven't even run on the course yet. So we're working off of actually the adrenaline loop out at McDowell. But the Stunner night runs, when they do happen, hopefully next summer, will be at Usuri Mountain Regional Park. So it's another East Side race for you guys. Yeah, we want to thank you guys for joining us this week, for participating in the Stunner night runs in the continuation of the Insomniac virtual series. Hopefully you guys have all had a great week. And yeah, how you doing, Noah? How you doing, Jubilee?
Doing great. Yeah, we're back. Race number 3.
That's right. And we just came back from Colorado. We had our first in-person race. Just catch you guys up real quick. First in-person race in 4 months. Yay. We had a lot of new protocols. If you guys weren't able to make it out there, I think it went pretty well. What'd you guys think?
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was so cool to see people and hang out with people, and still, like, yeah, I think it ran really, really smooth. People were very, very courteous with all of the new additions, so it was cool.
Cool. Well, I don't want to dwell too much on that. We're joined by a couple others. Do you guys want to introduce yourself? Leah and Jeff, you guys are from Huss.
Hi, Jeff and Leah Huss Brewing Company. Jeff is usually the non-talker unless it's talking about beer. So
That's why you're here.
Well, I'm here, hey guys.
Thank you, guys. Good to see you.
Thank you guys.
You
It's
too.
always good to see humans. Yes.
And we want to thank Huss. They've been a longtime partner of Aravaipa, a huge supporter. They're trail runners as well. And if you guys are local to Phoenix, you guys can bring your bib to either Huss location and get yourself a beer. Definitely check out the Papago. Oh, there we go. Papago Desert Sage Orange IPA. We can talk a little bit more about this in a second. We're also joined by Graham. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks, guys, for having me.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Huss, there's nothing up here in Northern California that I could get.
Eventually.
Is that loud? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
There we go. Yeah.
I'll work on my voice.
So eventually we'll see Huss in Northern California, right, guys?
Oh boy.
Oh, hopefully that's somebody else's problem when that happens.
There you go. Yeah, I like it.
I don't want to be having to deal with the trucks on that one.
No kidding, right?
Oh, and we're up here. We're not on any major routes, so nobody's coming up here.
Where are you at, Graham?
We're Arcata, California is right next to Eureka, so Humboldt County. We're up on the Lost Coast, aptly named because no highways run through there. So it's the whole section of Northern California where it's basically isolated.
Cool.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Lost Coast Brewing.
That's right.
Yep, they're up here.
Yep.
Yeah, North Coast is too, not too far from there, probably in Fort Bragg. I don't know how far that is.
Yeah, it's a little bit south of us. We actually have a large selection of breweries. Because we're so isolated, there's a huge proportion of our economy is local businesses. So we have a lot of, local coffee roasters, local breweries, and beer makers.
Cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
So where do you want to go with it? Should we ask Graham about his run? Graham, you did a 93K the other day?
I did. Yeah, I've been doing all my runs starting at midnight to try to get as much, Insomniac as I can. Since I'm doing them all as one single run, I've been, trying to get as many night hours in as possible. If I started at, 5, then most of my run would be during the day. So 93K, the shortest of the 6, was still difficult. It took longer than I anticipated, but it was good.
Are you using your house as an aid station, or like what's your plan with that? Because the first one was the longest run you'd ever done, right?
Yeah, I had run 64 miles at a last man standing last year, which is totally just a completely different, setup. And that was by far the farthest I'd run. So the 66 was farther than that. I decided to use my house as the aid station so that I could, if I'm running in the middle of the night, I can just come back here, not wake anybody up, come in the back door, use the bathroom, rest if I need to. We have a ton of trails around here. So if I go a few blocks east, I'm in the mountains. If I go a few blocks west, I'm down at a bird sanctuary marsh. So I can get some flat miles in. I can get some elevation in. I don't really have to run around people. And I just use this as my, every 10 miles or so, come and make a pit stop.
And then are you running on trails, or do you stick mostly on the road, gravel?
I'd say it's probably 95% trails.
Wow.
Some of them are, Forest Service trails. Some are single track. The marsh trails are they're flat and gravelly, but single track you could fit a car on some of them.
That's cool. Yeah, I can see the track here now. We pulled it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, tell us about running in the ocean over there.
So
There's
I had
a
never thought
section
about
where you're running in the water.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that till you mentioned it. There is our Arcata Marsh right there is a water treatment center. So they set all if you look, the loops that I do kind of go around these different ponds. So it's basically just a levee in a circle that goes around an oxidation pond. So I have this like single track, surrounded by water that's just full of geese and ducks and pelicans.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
See where he did that.
Yeah.
It was right on
For the record, Jeff panicked when that came up because he thought he put that
He did it.
phone.
Right?
He's like, hold on, what I do?
Show moves fast.
There's my internet history.
Totally. Yeah, right. Put it down. Cool. Well, that's awesome, man. That's impressive. You're doing them all. Are you gonna do all 6, right? That's the goal, all in one go?
I'm gonna do all 6. Yep. I was planning on starting all of them at midnight, but with the 106 mile, starting at midnight will be a funny stopping point, and I'll be running through the night anyway, so I'll probably start in the morning.
Right. Instead of doing 2 nights potentially. Yeah. Because you're talking about hangover at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, at the finish line, it would be nice to have my family to be able to.
Yeah.
Be awake. I don't want to finish it in midnight.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that'll be fun to watch. That's impressive, man. Good job.
Yeah. This last one, I wasn't as into taking photos. I just wasn't. It was hard for me to get my phone out. I don't know. I wasn't as motivated.
Yeah.
But they got to join me for a little bit of it. We have a university right down the road, so we went up to the track and ran some loops. They're gonna do Vertigo next month, so we're gonna try to get them out in the morning.
Super cool. Yeah.
So Graham, what was your because I know when we originally conceived the Dawnbreaker series or component, we were thinking people would kind of mix it up all week. What was your decision to do it all at once? And you've had an awesome streak here. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Yeah,
so I really haven't been running that long. Got into ultras just a couple years ago, and done a couple 50 miles, couple 50Ks, and a lot of training runs. So I was really ready to start ramping up into the hundreds this year. Didn't really have one signed up yet, but was looking at some, more in September or so. And then when we all went on self-isolation or house isolation, I was doing a lot more running around home. My wife wasn't working because she had to, massage was completely shut down. So she was home with the kids. They weren't in school, and I found a time in the morning to get a lot of miles in. And it just kind of worked out that, you know, they were going to be home. Our childcare was taken care of. And I could train for these. So it was just perfect timing that they kind of popped up on my radar right then.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Especially without aid stations. So you come back every like 10 miles or so, you said?
Or so, yeah, it kind of depends if I'm doing, it's a lot easier to stay out longer on the flat miles. I can get a few more miles in and not as much time out. But if I'm doing, basically when I go to the forest, I'm doing hill repeats. So I can get about 8 miles in or 12 miles in a couple hours. And so somewhere between 8 and 12 miles, I'm coming back.
You like running at night?
I do. It's really calm out there.
Yeah.
There's nobody out. See a lot of eyes, mostly house cats. But there's mountain lions up there, and there's a lot of fox and deer and stuff. So I try not to let it get to me in the middle of the night, but it can be, you know, anxiety inducing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You turn around from the eyes and run the other way, and then you got to worry, right?
yeah. The funny thing is that if I go in the middle of the night, my cell signal doesn't get cut, so I can listen to podcasts or playlists, and I don't have any problems. But if I go out during the day, I don't know if it's you know, that more people are on, but it cuts off immediately. So I feel like, you know, there's a lot of benefits.
Yeah, that's great. That's cool.
So Graham, we're halfway through the series. This was the shortest of all of them. You've got you got a couple like close together ones coming up. So you got 119K Vertigo, 113K Sinister, and then I believe it's going to be your first 100 miler for the Hangover.
Yep.
Do you have like a special course plan for that one? Or are you going to do the same kind of thing running around your neighborhood?
Yeah, I don't have a special one planned. I've thought of a bunch of different routes that I would like to do, but this has been working out really well, so that you know, it's the least taxing on everybody involved. You know, my kids can hang out around the house or go play or whatever, and then if I come back every couple hours, they're usually there. So nobody really has to do anything except kind of be here, and then I can just do my thing. It would be nice to get some different trails in, but these are so comfortable, it makes it a lot easier. I know exactly what I'm in for. If I go up into the forest, I know, you know, how taxing it's going to be for 2 hours. I don't have to think about routes. I have them memorized, you know, to the point where I know if I go up trail 8, I'm going to get a certain amount of miles, or if I go, you know, they're all numbered. So I know exactly what I'm getting into. So that takes the, you know, the unknown portion out of it. It would be harder for me to go somewhere and run 106 just to set everything up. I feel like I would still be setting up a central aid station and going out and coming back and going out and coming back. So this is pretty simple for that.
It's awesome.
I'll probably stick to that.
Do you want to, do you have any tips or things that you've learned along the way, just kind of self-crewing as you do these long runs for other people that are out there doing this, or any other, kind of things you've learned along the way so far?
Yeah. So my first really long run was, I kind of jumped into this, you know, with no training plans. I do everything on my own. I don't have a coach. I signed up for the Squamish 50-50 without having ever run a 50K. Just had done some road marathons. And then in that, I learned a lot about consistency, which I think is the thing that has been the most beneficial for me. So if I get out, you know, I thought I was putting in the miles, I'd get like a really long run in 1 day a week. But if I really put in the miles and the time, that's what's been the best for me. So I'll go out and do, you know, 75 miles a week or so. And that's been fantastic. My leg strength and my stamina has been so much better than, you know, what it was when I first jumped in. So having all these back to back has really been helpful. I feel like there's been no downtime. My recovery runs are usually like 2 days after the race instead of 2 weeks or a week. And I just stick with it, and then I haven't seen any problems. I started off a lot slower for these ones, so I didn't have any problems with shin splints, no ankle injuries. You know, I really wasn't putting that rapid increase in mile strain on my joints or my all that connective tissue in your shins or in your hips. So that's been incredibly beneficial as well. I have a car. We have a family car, and I have a personal vehicle that broke down about 1.5 years ago. And I decided that was the time for me to start running to work. It was a nice excuse. It's about 9 miles to work, and I work 24-hour shifts, so I don't run there and run back in a day. So I'll run to work in the morning, and I get my early miles in, and it's been really nice. So it's just consistency. It's kind of forced consistency, but it's really great.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I've been up to that area one time. It looks beautiful.
It's fantastic. Really small community. We're just in the heart of the redwoods. It's really great.
Nice. Well, anything else you want to add, Graham?
Ooh, I just would like to say thank you. I really appreciate all you guys are doing. I wouldn't be able to run these races otherwise. I'm not anywhere close to Arizona, so I might have been able to do one of them, maybe could travel for Javelina or something, but there's no way I could have done all 6. So this has been really great for me being further away, having something to train for and keep going for.
Yeah, well, it's been inspiring to watch you. So thanks for being part of this and going big, I guess. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice.
That's fun, man.
Yeah, feel free to stick around. But yeah, we want to get to Leah and Jeff. Let's talk maybe a little bit about, if you guys want to give a little background on Huss and who you guys are and what you guys do, maybe we can start there, and then we can talk about maybe how you heard about Aravaipa and everything.
Yeah, so we are a 6-year-old brewery. Jeff,
7 next month.
7, yeah, in August. This year's kind of a wash, though. I think I'm living in that 6th year. Yeah. So Jeff was a brewer for BJ's for 7 years down in Chandler, Arizona, and I owned and ran a small beer bar in South Scottsdale called Papago Brewing Company, and we met. Found out we grew up 45 minutes from each other in Central Illinois, got married, had a daughter, and when we first found out we were having her, we decided that we would kind of like stray a little bit and develop a family business, if you will, a family brewery. I kept my job and my shares over at Papago for 1.5 years before going to the brewery full time, and then we eventually bought the name and the rights to everything Papago. So because Jeff was a production brewer from BJ's and had that kind of accountability from working from a corporate system, we were actually able to grow pretty quickly. And so in our 3rd year, we became the 3rd biggest brewery in the state of Arizona, which still stands as far as I know. Who knows what the hell this year will bring. Not that that was ever like what we had set out to do, just be some huge brewery. It was more always about family and what we were doing. And so I came to find Aravaipa through trail runs and trail groups and things like that. That is where my girlfriends and I like to spend the majority of our time. And I really need to know what trail this is out at McDowell, by the way, that we've been watching.
Yeah, this is Escondido Trail.
That's why. Okay. So we're on the back side.
Exactly. It's somewhat, I mean, well, maybe not now, it's new, but it was new like maybe 5 years ago or so. But it's really cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It is. You want to have?
Yeah, I mean, that's.
Like I said, Jeff is usually not the talker.
You have any technical questions, that's where I usually come in. But yeah, so we, like she said, we've been, next month will be our 7 years. So we've been making beer on the same system for 7 years. And we have a couple of locations, one in Tempe, one in Phoenix. And Been sponsoring ever since we started canning. I think we've been sponsoring Aravaipa.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I remember the very first time you guys brought some beer out. I think it was in some kegs, and you're like, "No, we got to move to the cans, more consistent."
Yeah.
It was out in the white tanks, I think, wasn't it?
It might have been. I think it was McDowell. That's what I thought. I think it was at Adrenaline, actually.
If it was
I
that
could
one,
be
then
wrong.
Jeff got highly intoxicated while he waited.
She told me, I'm running a race. I need you to come out there. That's all you have to do. It was so late on a Sunday. Saturday. And I did some yard work. I got away from myself a little bit that day. Jamil, I think I gave you a big hug.
Probably.
It's the day I met you, so.
That's crazy.
I have to say, like, it's amazing to hear you guys are only 6 or 7 years old. It feels like with how big you are and how established that you guys have been around a lot longer.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
We have like a great history here because when we started our group trail run, which is probably, man, I don't even know, 8, 9 years ago, something like that, we would always go to Papago Park or Papago Brewery because we always run to Papago Park. So that kind of became our spot. So it's really cool, all the interwoven history. And then we got the chance to do a collaboration beer for the Javelina 100, which we called it the Hoppy Javelina, and it has orange and sage in it. And that is now like an official beer, which is really cool. I still remember I think you texted me and you're like, hey, can we rename it? Like almost asking me permission, which was really nice of you because you didn't have to do that. But yeah, it's really cool. Like even the Aravaipa new icon is on here and a little story on the back. So definitely check this out. If people are listening, go give it a shot. It's really good.
I'm not sure the exact distribution of it now.
Oh, really?
I think we're in Fry's with it.
Total Wine.
Total Wine, obviously. If I would have thought about this, I would have grabbed the distribution sheet. But we're going through about 300 cases a week almost of that right now. So that's
people like your beer.
It's getting out there. The name's getting out there and everything else. People love the beer that you two created and told me to figure out. So
that's awesome. And I still think we need to do like a Papago Desert Sage trail run at some point with the finish line.
Oh my God,
It'd be so cool to do that once we can get back out there.
I remember reaching out to you and you're like, wait, what do you mean? We've been coming to Papago every Wednesday night. And because I was like the day person for 10 years, I had no idea this was happening, regardless of the fact that I was running the place. My partner, Zach, was dealing with it. And you're like, wait, we've been coming there. We've just actually switched. We're trying to switch it up. I was like, oh,
that's so funny.
Yeah, wild. So, we would love that. And Jeff just said to me literally 2 hours ago, he's like, so I've been looking in races. When do you think that people will actually be able to run together again? Do you guys have any insight, input, feelings on that?
For us, well, we did have our first Colorado race, we only have one per year, but we were able to hold that one. And we have our one in Utah approved for, are we 2 weeks away, Noah?
Oh.
Yeah.
2 weeks away now. As far as Arizona, we don't have any approved yet, but we're going to see how, I guess, the next month shakes out. Hopefully we can start back with something. We've moved to a new format, so it's small group wave starts where people can keep their distance. So we might hopefully have something in person by August. We'll just have to see. I don't know.
Awesome.
Hopefully you can get that. Obviously, it's much later, but that Santan Scramble is a pretty fun one.
I know, that's like our fave.
I ran I don't know the number, like 17K, and I didn't know exactly what I was getting myself into with that vertical ascent. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Gold mine.
Gold mine. There's like a warning sign at the bottom of it.
My heart actually came out of my chest at one point in time on that.
Right.
So,
and then you go straight down right after that.
Yeah, but you got no wind left in you to go downhill. So
That's true.
like something's wrong, but I'm just walking downhill and sucking air right now.
Yeah, that hill's fun. Yeah,
Yeah, we'll lose.
that's cool. That's funny. That was the first thing I thought when you said 6 years, almost 7. I was like, man, I feel like you guys have been around for forever. So that's really exciting for you guys. Good job, man. It's cool.
Thank you very much.
You know, we've
Now,
got
are
an
you-
awesome team. It 100% is not just the two of us. Like, it definitely is Chip and Elisa and everybody else. Like, we have been so fortunate in kind of putting everybody together and the people that we've brought on board and keeping everybody, you know, around for years at a time. We don't like to have people come on and stay for a short time. I'm a big believer in longevity and moving people up and really having people come on to stay to build a brand with us. So I think that has definitely helped, and it's been a challenge and a half to keep all of our stuff in a row during this whole process of everything. But that's been our big deal, was like keeping everybody on staff, keeping everyone employed. So
100% employment.
yeah, so we've maintained. It's been stressful AF, but we are rolling, and we've got everybody on board still at both locations. We did have to go to a go model only up at the Uptown Tap Room for a while, which actually was pretty great. And at the same time, it was cool because we got to turn ourselves into a grocery because we had supply chain for toilet paper and, you know, things that people couldn't get. So it worked out beautifully. But yeah, here we are in our challenging year. I was teasing one of the guys from Papago. He was one of my first ever employees. And I was like, remember when we first opened and we made it through 9/11, and then we made it through the recession, and now we're both still in the beer industry, and now we've made it through whatever this insanity is,
Right.
at least through this portion of it. So
How else have you guys been adapting through all this?
How else have we?
Yeah.
Basically, every single game plan that you had, you throw it through a shredder and light it on fire. So,
Totally.
what has been fortunate for us is that we can beer. We are not entirely reliant on draft beer. So it takes, you know, quite a bit more energy and everything else to put beer into cans as opposed to kegs. But the whole keg thing just disappeared for, you know, which was probably about half of our business. It just completely fell off and didn't exist.
Wow.
So we've had to, our entire sales crew, we have, I think, 6 in sales, and half of them, or more than half of them, just basically focused on bars and restaurants for their entire career, and they had to learn how to switch and start dealing with grocery stores. It's been an adjustment, a learning curve. I think we're all smarter and better for it, is the truth. But I mean, I obviously wouldn't want to do it again. But you know, we've been very successful in adapting, and every week is completely different at this point. So it's you know, it's kind of been a mess in that aspect, but we're super proud of our entire team for figuring everything out.
yeah, for everything from safety, implementation, and both the brewery, and we're lucky we've got 19,000 square feet and only, I don't know, any given time
16 employees,
16 guys, but you know, 2 in the lab and then the rest between the 3 suites. So everybody's able to kind of keep their distance away from each other. And it's not pleasant back there right now with masks and whatnot on because it is so hot. But everyone's surviving and we'll be good.
Yeah. I was going to ask how many brewers you guys have currently, because it's 3 or 4, right?
Actual people that make beer, I think we have 7 with that skill set. Maybe in the brewery, we have obviously we have, you know, 3 guys that run the canning line now. We're running on interwoven shifts. We have people that have a lot of filtration experience. We generally run 1 filter a day. We have we're pretty, I don't even know the term. I mean, we're pretty specialized now at this point. Versus in the early days, everybody had to know how to do everything. Now we're able to focus and become an expert on the machine that you're working on at the time.
Right.
So
something exciting though, the first part of the year we bought a 7-barrel system, which is a smaller system than what we have. We opened with a 30, which is completely crazy because that means we had to brew 60 kegs at a time. But
about 1,000 gallons is what that comes out to.
So we could never really play with things, if you
Right.
will. And so we bought this 7-barrel. We
Sorry.
bought this 7-barrel system. That was great.
Grab your beer across that guy. I like that. Is that you running?
Anyway, so we have been able to have a little bit of innovation this year, which seems like it would not be happening in a normal year. We've got a cool new beer that I think that's what this is it not? We're calling it Lolo or Local Locale. I don't know. We're trying to figure out what the name is, but it's a low calorie, low alcohol IPA that we'll put into the AZ Light family of the better for you,
That'd
if
be
you will.
perfect for you guys, to be honest. Between that and the Desert Sage, we got you all taken care of.
What's the alcohol percentage? Do you know yet about?
As of right now, it's at 4. I think we're going to get it just a shade lower.
Wow. Okay. Real low. Okay.
Yeah.
It's delicious. It is so good. You don't even miss the alcohol. You have no idea it's not there.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, like R&D type size barrel.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's fun.
With our 2 locations now, we can roll through beer a little bit faster. It's not such an issue to hold on to 14 kegs of something like it used to.
Seriously.
Yeah. So.
And then, are you getting to brew it all right now, Jeff? Or are you? Do you get to get dirty in there?
Do I get dirty? Yes, but anymore it's just electrical. I mean, I've been hot wiring contactors and stuff like that lately. I was on the roof at work at midnight a couple of days ago. It's
last Saturday when it was 117 or whatever
17.
overnight.
All of my guys' major question when I told them what happened was, how were you sober enough to get on the roof? It was lucky. It was very lucky. So, no, we've been dealing with every summer is, you want to go away on vacation, but we have more equipment failures than anything in the summertime.
Really?
We got pretty good at electrical over the years. So that's, we kind of have to stick around and be the on-call electrician anymore.
Good thing to know how to do, I guess.
Yeah.
We had a question in the chat room for you guys. Let's see. Lisa Lee says, I like all the hops, but how about a sour? You guys do any sour beers?
Lisa, we did one about, what was that, 2 years ago.
A year. I think it was a year ago.
A year ago. And with this 7-barrel system, once we get caught up, I think we're going to start playing around with it a little bit more. I have never been much of a sour fan, but our head brewer is, he's extremely talented in recipe writing, and it was his recipe that he wrote. We used some grapes from Sonoyta, I think, and we used a lot of pretty local ingredients with this and made a beer that everybody really liked. It's just
hard to do on a huge system and to have a ton of it, especially when you don't really drink as much of that in one sitting as you would typically. Something like a blonde. We do have some stuff on the pipeline. If I have my way and things go according to plan, which doesn't seem to be the case ever this year, but we do plan to make a sour cherry wheat beer towards the end of the year. That is definitely on the docket.
Yeah. Like that. So we will, I would say look for it. When you make these beers, they genuinely don't, or normally just don't fly off the shelf. So I'd say before the end of the year at our tap rooms, we'll definitely have a sour of some sort. We might even have a Belgian beer at some point, which is another type of beer that we really have never produced.
Typically, the husses don't love Belgian beers, to be fair.
So Josh in the chat room, he read my mind. This is something I wanted to ask you guys. Huss, are we going to see a beer mile in the future? Have either of you guys run a beer mile? Is the first question. The second question is, which Huss beer has to be over 5%? Which one would you recommend as being the best for a beer mile?
Does it have to be over 5%?
It does, officially.
I think for official beer mile rules, it does.
God.
Well, on the pilot system, we just made an amber, I think, that's going to finish between 5 and 5.5. That might be the winner. Have I ever done one? Yes, I have done one 2 times.
We had a whole team participating.
We had a rule with my guys that was if you puked, you lost, and it was the 3 of us, and one of them beat all of us by 2 minutes, I think, and he vomited. So I ended up the consolation winner. I did it, I think, in 9:40. Believe it or not.
Good.
And
Really
I'm very good at chugging beer, and I'm not fast. So my normal miles are, just above or just below 9. So stopping to slam some beers wasn't that big of an issue for me.
That is my issue, I will have to say.
Yeah, and our daughter, when I ran it the last time, my daughter was probably 4. And she was just screaming at the drinking area. Drink, Dad, drink, Dad, drink. So, and Leah was about to vomit watching everybody's guts grow.
You can see people's stomachs like descending in the area. It's so gross. I mean, it's a lot of fun, but still.
Totally.
So ideally, I would think Scottsdale Blonde would be the winner, but if it has to be above 5%,
That won't be
guess.
it. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We either have beers below 5 or above 6. It seems like we don't have a whole lot to play with in the 5 category. So
What's the pale ale? What's that one?
That's what I said.
The Magic and the Ivy was 5.7.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great beer.
Yeah, well, thank you.
That's Jeff's favorite beer of all time.
That is a really good, easy drinking beer. Yeah.
Named for the Chicago Cubs, the Ivy, and the Eddie Vedder song, All the Way.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like we might have to do a collaboration event on that as well sometime.
Ugh.
We'll do all the collaborations.
That's a tough one, man.
That's great.
What's your best beer mile time? Anybody who's in here who's done it?
I've actually never done one, which is
Noah, come on.
never. I know, right? It's crazy.
We just painted a track on the roof of our building. It's just over 25 meters in length. So we might have to do one up on the rooftop.
That seems really safe.
Also, this time of year, it would be really fun.
Yeah.
But like,
Conditions.
wouldn't it be like how many laps just
Yeah.
a quarter mile and you're running loops and loops and loops while also drinking? Doesn't
It would
sound
be-
You
that
have to start with the beer too, don't you?
Yeah, you start
have to
with the
start
beer,
with
so
chugging.
it's 4 pints, so it's a half gallon of beer.
It would be like doing loops on the, you put your head down on a baseball bat and then run over and try to, that's what it'd be like up there.
Yeah.
It's like 16, you would have to run 16 laps in between your beers.
Gross.
In a
I just-
tight
That
I
circle.
sounds so terrible.
I actually saw that last year, a new world record. I'm sure it's been broken since then, but it's a sub 5, isn't it? Or is it a sub 6?
Yeah, so
No, I think it's,
Impressive, yeah.
I
Corey,
think it's way lower than that, isn't it?
it looks like Corey
Yeah.
Belmore has the record at 4:33.
Good Lord.
I mean, just drinking 4 beers in that time is impressive.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And the
Without a beer bong.
current women's best is 6:08.
Good.
They also
Who's this?
they also rank the beers too. So we got to work on getting Huss on the board here. Maybe that can be it looks like the lowest one. They have Budweiser is the most popular.
Yeah.
That's the one
Not
of choice apparently. So maybe we can crack into the top 10 and get a ton of people out. I don't know.
I feel like the Bud would be a problem with its overcarbonation. That is sure to make you vomit.
Well, I think they'll like open it up
the
before.
entire time for sure.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna outsmart the system and take some Tums or something like that and eat them right before, because the calcium carbonate and the Tums would really release the burps out very quickly.
Did it
I
release
did
more
it.
than the burp?
First time I did it. First time I did it was 11:30. Second time I did it was 9:40. So.
All right.
I mean, it is key to get as much
something
air
to
out
it.
of your stomach when you're running.
I
You
don't know
gotta
if
get it out.
I don't know if that qualifies as blood doping or what that is, but that's definitely something. So I might not have been clean on that one.
All that slashing around in your gut. Ugh.
Yeah. The best one I read about, which was a santan beer, but the guy did the Sex Panther. It's like a double chocolate porter.
Oh,
Yes.
It was so
like
funny.
9% too,
Yeah, it's
I think.
9%.
He's like, first lap went great, came back to drink the second one, and then I knew things weren't going to end well. And then he went on to it was this hilarious story, but I always think about that with beer miles, like, the Sex Panther? Really, a double chocolate porter?
Oh,
No. You know what might be good is Guinness because it's not.
It's easy to drink.
it's too low
Because
in
it's-
alcohol, but it's
Nice.
Yeah, is that below 5? Yeah.
it's like 3.9. Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay, yeah. It's
Maybe
funny.
a hydrogenated beer.
Jamil, who's this in the iPhone here down below?
I am not sure, actually. We don't know.
I'm really hoping it's not my daughter
From the
from the other room right now. I'm
Hello, I
serious.
just unmuted you, iPhone. Who are you?
It's me.
Thank God.
How do I talk?
We don't have your video up. There's a way you can turn on video or something. We can hear you.
I love that you thought it was cool.
Can you?
I don't know how to do it. Do you guys know how to do it on a phone? We can hear
I
you.
don't know.
We can
You
hear
can
you.
hear
We
me?
can't see you.
We just can't see you.
Okay. I'm just a runner. I'm not like a beer person or.
Is this Mandy or Devin?
Yes, it's Mandy.
Oh, cool.
Andy.
Yay!
Oh,
There you
perfect.
go.
Now we can see.
Yay! Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Welcome.
Fun. Well, I'm dead today.
Mandy,
Okay.
did you just run your first ultra today?
Yes.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
Heck
I'm
yeah.
done. I did it. I lived. It's nighttime now. So I
Are you-
missed that, but maybe I'll do the 15 miles tomorrow at night.
Nice.
Where are you at
Yeah.
now? Where are you located?
Arkansas.
Okay.
I think I'm actually the only one that did any of your races that's in Arkansas. I've not found another Arkansas person. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Way to
Thank
run.
you. And are you doing the whole?
Huh?
Are you doing the Dawnbreaker then, or just the Ultra?
The Dawnbreaker.
Cool.
So I have 15 miles left, which I think in your head it's supposed to feel like, oh, that's nothing compared to what I just did. But I think it's just going to feel like death after a longer death. But it's going to be fine.
Definitely gonna be fine.
This is fine. So, yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
kept me alive through the summer binge, kept me alive through the pandemic, and then this is keeping me alive. So that's cool.
And so you've done all the other distances so far, but this was your first Ultra today.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it was actually, it was pretty hot. It was really hot. I didn't see a lot of people. I think everybody thinks that if you are breathing the same air as everyone else, then you're gonna die.
Yes.
So that was fine for me though, because I don't really like people anyway. So yeah, lots of deer. I saw I think 6 deer today.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'll have some good pictures of that. Nothing else interesting except for sweating. And
And were you using your house as an aid station as well, or did you go out on a different area or trails?
I had a shoebox.
Okay.
I just packed a bunch of stuff in a shoebox. And then I think it was at 16.47 miles, I was like, I really should probably let my dog out. So I went home and walked him. And then I was like, well, that's like 0.02 miles. So we'll add that in there. And then I went back out for my second loop.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you're running just kind of in and around your home, or are you running trails or streets?
Okay. So we have like our city. I live in Bentonville, which is not a big city compared to like Flagstaff. But yeah, or anywhere other than like Arkansas is really kind of not big. But we do have a really beautiful trail system. So I do like both road and trail.
Cool.
And the one that I really like is Slaughter Pen because it's got like a lot of elevation, a lot of trees, a lot of deer. So yeah, it was good.
Cool.
Yeah, it's cool to talk to real people.
So is it 16-mile loops you're doing, or is it like just running all over the place?
Kind of all over the place, and then out and back, and then like, oh, there's a path that I've never been on before, so let's go see what's over there.
Good for
I
you.
have really bad ADHD. So, and they just keep building onto the trails too, so that's fun.
That's cool.
So there's a lot of like, oh, the trail is closed, but did you know that even if it says the trail is closed, you can go around that sign and it's not actually closed. You can still run in the forest even if they're like, no, don't do it. You totally still can.
Are they closing the forest? Like, is it Forest Service closing the forest just to trail users, or
the areas that are closed are because they're building trails? So they don't want you back there because they have like their tractor or something, which I don't care about their tractor. But the worst thing, okay, here's something that's horrible. The bathrooms are closed, except for the first one when you park at the trailhead, and then 4 miles later. So if you are a distance runner, you can probably empathize with the fact that like having to pee or any other kind of bodily function that would need to happen for 4 miles is pretty rough. But they're not, I don't think that they're going to open the bathrooms anytime soon. So
Really?
yeah, that's when you know you're a runner. It's when you'll go where you gotta.
That's all right.
Yeah, I think everybody has done it. So there's one hill we have called the Bush Push, where I guess President Bush, like the sign says that President Bush came out with his friends and challenged them to bike up this giant hill. I think it's like 1,300 feet of elevation gain. So I run up the top of this hill and there's like this plastic rhinoceros. It's the weirdest thing, but that's usually where I'll go pee because nobody's ever up there.
Plastic rhinoceros. That sounds cool.
Reveal. Yeah.
So have you done any of the other, have you done any of the other night races, or was this your first one? I see you said you did summertime binge.
Yeah, I did the summertime binge. What did I run earlier this week? I did the 6K and the 12K at night. But I have kids too, so it's kind of hard to get out because the sun here doesn't set till like 8:30. And so like both of my kids, my daughter's autistic and has Tourette's, and so she has to be medicated at 8 o'clock. So then I'm like, I'm leaving the house, but I promise I'm coming back. So getting out and staying out late at night's been kind of a challenge, but I think tomorrow it'll be easier because they're with their dad, so it should be fine.
Just walk if you have to. It's fine.
Yeah, and stay in the lit areas. We don't have. Do you guys have a lot of streetlights there?
Depends on where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really don't. And I noticed that this week because I don't have like a light or anything because they usually don't run at night. And I was like, I can't see anything. Maybe I'll
need a headlamp. Good headlamp.
Yeah. So does that bother you? Like having something on top of your head for a long period of time?
You get used to it.
Yeah, you get used to it.
Yeah, I'll just carry it in my hand sometimes, so it's just still getting on the ground, but not squeezing my head if that starts to bother me.
You're that guy that runs behind me and it's like this. The light.
2 lights. Yeah, exactly.
That would be horrifying here.
Well, Graham, do you wear yours on your head all night?
I do, yeah.
What kind of light do you have?
I use a Black Diamond Revolt. It's nice to have the rechargeable battery option, but what I found is that it's not as bright and it doesn't last as long. So honestly, I just use the disposable batteries, but it's fantastic. It's super bright. It's dimmable if you want it. It's really useful.
Yeah. Well, that's the difference. You got to have a good light because it can be terrible on a trail with a bad light for sure.
Yeah, or even on the roads.
If you have a good light and don't have good batteries, you'll notice that you can't see anything.
Or if you're blind like me and you don't wear your glasses and you're like, oh, I can't see. This is fun. Great running stories to be had at night for sure when you can't see. Yeah, no, it's been really good. I usually like in the winter, it gets dark so early. So I'm running at night anyway, but I think this just feels different. And I don't know if it's because there's a challenge involved and it's not just because I thought it was a good idea, or if it's because it's so freaking hot, or because there's a race war and a pandemic. I don't know.
Right.
It's a weird season.
Well, that's great. That's awesome. 15 miles will still be a good chunk tomorrow, but it'll be nice to know you're like on every mile is like the final countdown.
Yeah, that's actually how I felt today. At mile 26, I was like, okay, well, I just PR'd on distance for one day. So like the last 1,000 miles will feel like nothing, which it did not feel like nothing, but it was fine. So
Awesome.
Tomorrow I'll just run on the fact that I know I'm almost done.
That's right.
What is that screen? The Insomniac course? Is that in Arizona?
Yeah, that's along one of our race courses. This one's actually from Adrenaline, which was it was the first one in the series this year. We went out and filmed because these distances, they're like weird distances, but they correspond to actual courses. So this is me and my brother out running on that loop, kind of into the sunset and into the night.
It's so pretty.
Just give people a little bit of a view who maybe haven't run here before.
I think, I want to run in the desert. I was looking at your race in September, but I don't know, are we going to have travel restrictions in September, or is it a good idea to fly to Arizona while tickets are $200
right.
for a race? It's probably a good idea, right? Do I get quarantined at my job when I come back? Are they paying me while I'm quarantined? It's probably fine. Yeah, that's really pretty. It's not like that here. No. Here it's like huge, trees. Very old trees and deer and you can't see anything because I don't wear light. It's just totally different. It would be fun though.
Sure. It's not often you hear people from other states say it's gorgeous in the desert. I feel that way, but
really,
I don't know that other people generally think it's all that pretty out there. I love it. I think it's gorgeous. But
Leah, are you a native to here, Leah, or did you move?
No, both of us Central Illinois.
Oh, that's right. You said Illinois. That's right.
Yeah. Cool. So in the 50s, my mom had 3 uncles that were all pipe fitters, and they all took the old Route 66 from Illinois all the way out here and moved. And so we've had family roots here forever. We always used to visit, and this was kind of, I don't know. I was saying yesterday, it's always felt more like home than Illinois ever did for me. I've now been here for longer than I ever was back in Illinois. So Jeff does not feel the same way about our great state.
I mean, we had 15 days of 110 plus, so.
Crazy.
No, I don't do that. I mean, I guess I do that. I just did that, but I don't blame you for hating it.
He doesn't hate it.
I don't hate it. I've grown to love it, but it was it was tough leaving green and loving green and starting to love brown basically. So
Graham, looks like we got the whole family here. Who are you guys? Who are you joined with?
I wanted to introduce these guys. This is my daughter Lily and my son Felix, and this is our new one Riley and my wife Danielle. These guys are going to be running Vertigo. Felix here's 8, and he's going to run a 10K.
Nice.
Oh, you guys are going to run the 6K.
It's gonna be the 10.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So they're getting out.
So cool.
Everybody running Vertigo then too?
Yeah, they're going to run Vertigo.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This guy not quite. He's going to stroller it.
Totally.
there's the Vertigo punt list.
Well, thanks for being on, guys. That's cool.
That's awesome.
See. Noah, do we want to check out some of what people are doing on Instagram for a bit?
I was thinking either check the results or if you want to do some of the social, that might be cool.
Yeah, so people are sharing the hashtag Aravaipa Insomniac, and we are going to take a look at that real quick.
1 second.
We're just going to pull up a screen here. This is, well, we reposted this, but this is from Courtney the Bunny, and she just got her second set of the whole series, and this looks like we actually did custom bibs. So if you signed up for the whole entire night series, we had these printed and they went out with the second set of things. You can see she's got her 3 other bibs for the races coming up, Sinister head wrap and keychain. And then we got a Vertigo hat and a Hangover glow-in-the-dark tech tee. So this is some of the goodies that you can expect. I'm going to switch over. And of course, these races are virtual, but they have real in-person awards. So if you do place in any of the races, then you will be sent one of these awesome awards made by our team here. And just joining these races does help support our staff, and it keeps the laser engraving machines going and people working on that. So we appreciate that. Wow, looks like we got oh, this is just one of our own, sorry. So yeah, here's some of the goodies from Stunner. So if you guys are in the race, you already know this. You should have already gotten everything. These are the race medals, and we got this cool sport towel with the logo on it. Looks like double A 1175 here, 6K in the morning, sharing their run. More goodies to share. Also, tank top. Nice. Let's see what else we got here. We got
It's light post.
Mandy Lion 28.
That's my stuff.
There we go. So we got a view of Mandy right here. 8. This must have been your first run of the week, maybe?
Yeah, I think that was the first night.
Nice.
So that's actually what it looks like in Arkansas compared, like that's right up the street from my house.
Here we go. Let's see. Jay Runs Far sharing their, this must be the 8. What is the shortest one here? 8K?
6. No,
6K. Sorry, it says right there, 6K.
I think that's the runner that does the Strava art.
Yeah. Did you see her earlier?
It's crazy. Yeah. Every race she does like all the logo, whatever it is. I think it's a woman. I'm just looking at the picture. I can't tell.
I think I'm sure we'll get to hers. I'm sure she tagged it. She's doubling up, also doing Coast Mountain Trail scavenger hunt, looks like. Double A 1175 looks like sharing their second run of the week. Some Sasquatch.
Those socks are great.
Oh yeah, that is for sure.
The socks are amazing.
We got someone up in Flagstaff participating. Here's Jack doing Stunner Week here. All right, so here is your 12K, Mandy.
Yeah.
Through your photos here, we got some more, a lot of trees.
Yeah.
How's the humidity?
Yeah, it's really freaking I guess for you guys, that's not that hot, but here, oh my gosh, the humidity.
I'm sure that makes a big difference.
It feels like the air is being sucked out of you.
Wow.
Yeah, it's horrible. But you know, you didn't die. I didn't die. So we'll do it again.
Someone from Maryland here getting out there and doing their 6K. Masking up.
Cute.
See it?
I love the check offs there.
Oh yeah, people have been
20K.
doing. Oh yeah, here we go. We got the thumbs up, and that one's not so good for the 25K. Yeah, that's been a fun thing to see. Like people either check them off, but I do like the emoji emotions, seeing how it went out. Great. Jack, run number 2 here, getting it done. Yeah, see they're marking him off there as well. So cool. Another shot of all of the swag. We've got that for the people doing the 93K, and Graham's doing all of it at once, but they earned that really cool buckle, the 93K buckle there. We got Jay Runs Far. This is our Strava artiste, San Francisco.
Nice.
Really pretty.
That's a
That's
different
cool.
and getting
Yes.
Yeah.
What is that?
Delicious raspberry Belgian beer, Lindemans
Yeah.
Gregoire.
Lindemans.
That's a beautiful sight.
She's doing all that art in those hills in San Francisco too.
Oh, right. Yeah, getting some good gain there. So here's Graham showing it off there. There's his run. 58 miles on the dot.
All right.
Family came out too, huh?
Yeah, they got some miles and it was great.
Oh, nice.
Cool to see. Jack, day 3 looks like. There we go.
Nice.
Getting closer.
We got Blood, Sweat, and Beers, 856 out
Nice.
there getting it done. 12K. Cool. Or that's the 6K, sorry. Ended up doing the 6K. All right, we got Aaron here. He works for us here at Aravaipa. There he is. He's getting his runs in.
I was gonna say he's probably doing the ride too. He normally does them both.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, here we go. This is the
It's the Stunner
this
logo.
is the one. So this is the
Wow.
Stunner logo. You got the mountain, as much of a mountain range as you can make in San Francisco. And then you got the cloud and the lightning bolt coming down, and
That's
that's
awesome.
so cool. We're gonna have to do a collage of these at the end.
I mean, only in San Francisco can you get 2,000 feet of vert and 15 miles running streets.
Yeah, in the middle of the city.
Crazy. It's awesome.
All right. Oh, it looks like the 50K was a hot growing up.
It's been great.
There's the kit from Once Upon a Run. 93K challenge, did a 50K road. Here's Aaron. Oh yeah, look at that. We still haven't gotten any actual storms here in town, unfortunately, but the clouds are starting to build here in Phoenix. Hopefully we get some monsoons going. We got treadmill run here from Tom Runs Tucson. Rocking the Javelina 100 shirt.
Yep.
Scott A. Jowett out there running 32 miles for a birthday run.
That's Scott that ran Elephant Mountain, man. He's the one from England or Scotland, and he's in Seoul, I think, in South Korea.
Nice.
Nice.
Very cool. Got another treadmill runner here. Is that on the treadmill? 50K on the treadmill, looks like. Tom Runs Tucson, showing off his swag. We got a 50K here in Riverside.
Nice.
San Diego, first official continuous 50K. That's so cool.
Awesome.
And got that buckle as well.
And that's cool. Very cool.
We got Andre Lee out there getting it done. We just saw him up in Colorado this last weekend. I love the check. There you go. Check marks. Boom. Ooh, double buckle here. There you go. Marked them off. We got a carryover hypnosis. Looks like I'm not sure where this is, but maybe it's in Espanol. So
I think she lives in Panama.
Panama. It might have taken that long for it to get down there. Sharing their medals off though. Lucy 82 out here, Stunner 6K. We got Sarah Ostaszewski. Hypnosis. Oh, this is an old one. Maybe it's a new tag, old run. And let's see here. 100. Ooh, is this a, this is a Hypnosis Night Ride. Oh, there's also a new tag. It must be old ride. We're just sharing that. We got a little family photo here. TJ and Jesse. 15K. Or is it 50K here? Nice. And we got some dogs participating too here.
Those are great.
They're just showing off the flag.
That's cute.
Nice, good shot there. Over in Florida. And here we go. Oops, showing off the Stunner logo or Stunner medal there. Sweet. That's all we have for. Oh, actually, we have the stories too. We can look at real quick. Let's see if there's anything new going on. So these are people doing it in the last 24 hours. Looks like we've got a 50K there. Sharing a run there. We've got someone who did the Dawn Breaker. Birthday, there's that birthday. Oh. Don't know why we can't hear her. Report inappropriate. Wish we could hear it. She's got a lot. Everyone go check it out, I guess. She did her 50K. All right.
Nice.
And someone's got their aid station in their car. Oh, that's Mandy.
Is that your box?
That's the box, yeah.
That's the aid station box. That's awesome.
Yeah, it has everything.
It's got all your goodies right there. Sweet.
That works. Totally.
All right, cool. Noah, do we want to go over the results as well?
Yeah, we could take a look at, I know Devin's kicking butt again. And then I think that Monica girl I think she's in Panama. She was on there a few times too.
Cool. Do you want to walk us through it? I can share my screen again here.
I'd be curious if I checked yesterday and nobody had finished the 100-mile ride, which usually we have Jay, like Mayab or whatever, and then a couple other guys that do it. Art did it again. That's cool. He was at Adrenaline.
Yeah, we do have bike races as well going on.
Yeah, no Jay, and then somebody else was doing it too. Normally,
we had quite a few in the 3 hour.
I saw your dad.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize he did it. That's awesome.
It's great.
Nice. Didn't even realize that. Super cool.
51 miles in 3 hours. That's pretty impressive. Can you click on that?
Yeah.
It's 1,000 feet of gain. I wonder if can you get gain on a? Yeah, you can, huh? Oh no, he went somewhere. Where's that? Michigan. Cool. Dang, that's fast.
Getting it done there.
That's cool.
Here we go.
I think
Here's our beer mile.
Oh, nice. Look at that's hilarious. I think Devin she hadn't done her 50K at the time, I don't think. Oh no, maybe she's done. Yeah. 7-11.
Cumulative 93K there.
And Nate McBride, I think, has done the whole series with us too. He's been up there. Mark Hellenthal, you see that? He's running. He's back.
Yay.
Stephen Crawford. Julius. That's cool.
Quite a few people getting in those 93K. Here's our 50K list. Devin, of course, is tearing it up. So
Crazy.
excited.
It's great.
25K participants. Of course, Devin wins that one too.
It's
Devin
crazy.
was everything forever. I Facebook stalked her.
Right?
I mean, she's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, it's safe to say she's the queen of virtual racing.
I think she's the queen of like all existence.
And she's running in hills too. It's not just road or anything. Like she'll go up into the mountains in Northern California and get after it.
Yeah, and she looks like just like normal. Like this is what I do. Like I want to be Devin Yanko. How old is she?
38.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, I
After
could do
beat her by 7 seconds there.
Oh, my dad doubled down. He got the run in as well. So Devin, she got beat in the 12K by 7 seconds, but she won everything else outright. 93K, 50K, 25K, 6K, and then 7 seconds. We gotta check. We gotta click on these links, and we gotta make sure this is legit here.
I think I saw she did like a combo run. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how to tell like where she picked the 6K out of that, or so he's up in Vancouver, I think.
Do you think she just gets used to being the best? Or do you I mean really it's a legit because like for the summer binge on the first day before she had loaded her results, before I knew she existed, I was like, oh my God, I placed. But then like as the days kept going on, like she was doing like more than one thing and running like a marathon a day. And I was like, wow, is that normal? Like, is she just used to it? She must be, or she wouldn't be doing it. Is she sponsored? How is she? Does she have robot legs?
She's sponsored by I think she's sponsored by Wazelle.
Okay. Well,
I think, yeah, like the common thing that everybody says is like, it's a lot easier to just stay in running shape than it is to get in running shape. And that's what I always struggle with, where it's like, I'm always starting from scratch and it's like such a pain. It's like what you were saying, Graham, where it's like consistency of just running a certain amount of miles every week. It's like, it stinks sometimes to get up in the morning and do it. But then when you're done and it's like every week, it's like, oh, I can go run a 20 miler, like so much better than having to like build up to that every time you want to start to run again.
Absolutely. Okay, Kevin Nakamura, is that who it is?
Sean?
Nakamura, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he's the pinnacle of consistency.
Right. He's always ready to go run a 50K, 50 mile, 100 mile.
yeah.
The thing that kills me that Devin is still placing so fast in this race is what last week she did the 500 Ks of summer.
Yep.
Did she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think on day 10 she almost FKT'd something.
She probably got a handful of FKTs.
Totally.
She's wildly fast.
10 days of 50Ks. We threw it out there, and yeah, it's cool to see it.
I
We do have
consider
some
it.
questions in the YouTube chat room. So we are live on YouTube. If you guys are here, we got 16 people. We really promote the heck out of these live streams. But we do have a nice little audience here. Some questions are rolling in. We're going to get to those. Aaron Wagner chimes in, did my first ever 50K this time. Skipped right past the first marathon. I'm hooked. That's the way to do it right there.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that marathon. One more race tomorrow to complete the Dawnbreaker. So cool. Josh R., who had that clutch beer mile question, he asks, is Aravaipa thinking of doing virtual runs in 2021? And the answer to that is yes. We'll probably, we'll see how the whole pandemic, shapes up, I guess. But I think we want to try and do at least one per month, just kind of in perpetuity. I think got some fun ones coming up this fall. I do a quick shout out for we have a new one launching called Lone Mountain. It's a last person standing 1 mile every 15 minutes, and we're going to do a huge Zoom chat. We're going to live stream the entire thing. I think it's a smaller crowd on this one. I think we have about 50 people registered so far, but it's kind of a test run for us for this kind of a format. So if you guys are out there listening and you want to see how far you can go, and we'll be having like a big Zoom chat, and we have a really cool timing type system that we're doing remotely. So check that out. That is coming up in 1 week, actually. So next Saturday, we'll be kicking that off. Some other ones this fall. Aaron Wagner, I love these virtual races, but can't wait to travel to Arizona one day and run an in-person one. Cool. Let's see. Biff Goldstein, 65 years old, started running in 72 after Frank Shorter won the marathon. Quick question, how do you deal with running in Arizona heat? You never seem to sweat at all. Well, I think the sweat part is because it's so dry. So we are sweating, we just don't notice it. So you got to keep that in mind, and remember to hydrate, because it does affect you. But yeah, as far as dealing with it, I mean, for me, it's all about acclimation. So yeah, if you just all of a sudden dropped me into 110, it would be pretty ugly. But really the goal is to, as it's heating up, get out there and acclimate. What do you think, Noah? Is that kind of your take on it?
I mean, acclimation makes a big difference. It's funny because when I was in Maine and it was super humid, but it was only like 70 something degrees, I was like, I'm used to being super hot, but we sweat so much more in the humidity that I was like completely changed my heart rate and everything. So yeah, I think in the heat, I think the thing we run into with the night races is it's dark out. So people mentally think like, oh, it's not that hot. But if you look at the temperature, it's like, 103 degrees right now. Like your body is working hard for this. So you need to drink more water and probably more like hydration electrolytes than you're used to, because water just won't cut it on the long run.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't just only drink water. You got to get that water into your cells as well. And then, yeah, other things that we recommend is like, don't just drink the water, but also put it on your body and put it on your skin. Because we're getting so so yeah, basically, you think, how does your body cool itself? Well, you sweat, but if you drink it and then your body has to produce the sweat, it's wasted energy. So if you just directly apply it, it works better. That's kind of how I look at it.
I think that's definitely true, because what people always say in Phoenix too, not to go on too long, but it feels like a blow dryer, right? Like in the dead of summer, people are like, it feels like a blow dryer because there's not humidity. So you get hot, and then the air is so warm that it pulls the sweat right off your skin. So like placing water, like you're saying, makes a big difference too.
Yeah, we got some other people chiming in from Phoenix. They're running at 8 p.m. and it's 106 still, and it's in the dark. And then we got Wesley David did the Stunner 6K, 101 degrees after 8 p.m. So yeah, just because the sun isn't beating down on you, it doesn't mean it's not hot, and it doesn't mean you don't need to do those things to cool your body and keep your core cool. So like when we do have the in-person races, we always have tons of ice. We recommend like an ice bandana is great, because you can put ice and just let it kind of soak on your back. It keeps you cool. We got misters and sprayers, and what I like to do, like I ran the Angeles Crest 100 one year. It was like 100 degrees out in the middle of the day. Like at every aid station, I would take one of those Nalgene bottles. My crew had some ice in it, and I would just douse it over my head. And I was legitimately freezing in 100-degree weather. So there are things you can do besides acclimation to keep yourself cold. Sweet. Well, that is all the questions in the chat room for now. Appreciate you guys being out here. What else do we want to cover tonight?
I know we checked social media. Anybody else that's on here have anything else you want to be thought of? And we got what, Freak Brothers? Anything with them, or you want to mention Coca-Cola?
Yeah, I'm about to head over to Freak Brothers, I think. Yeah, real quick, Leah, where can people go? Because as part of this, they get a discount on some Huss beer. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so I reached out once I saw that there were virtual races going on and whatnot. A huge part of what we do is, that's just Chloe. A huge part of what we do is donating to charities. And usually that's through you guys, through the beer gardens, and then I don't know, hundreds of other things throughout the year. And so that has been obviously a big key piece that's been missing. So I did reach out and say, let us still extend this discount and have people come in, and we'll sell it for this, but we're going to donate to charity at the end of all of this through the races. So both of our tap rooms, so South Tempe, off of Mineral Road, and then also Central and Camelback, both of our tap rooms with your bib during race week. And then we will take and donate the money. And I would love to remember what exactly the monies were, but I know that the Southwest Center for Conservation, I think that we donated something ridiculous through you guys last year. Or was it like $11,000? Am I crazy?
I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was
a
considerable amount of money. Yeah.
I think collectively over all of our races, and then with also Javelina.
It's pretty incredible. Yeah.
It's really amazing what we're able to do.
Yeah. And so, and that's been a huge part of, throughout this, the stress alone of it is one thing, and the dealing with it and the isolation, but like a big part of it for me has been, people who are hurting, or organizations that are hurting, that, no longer have their big donors and aren't getting the things that they need. And, sorry, our battery was low. But so it's just been one piece of this to be able to help out through the entire pandemic. And, hopefully we will all be back to more normal than not, sooner than later, if you will. Jeff and I both had COVID. Just
really?
fun fact.
Oh, wow.
Jeff's symptom was basically just loss of smell. It was just a little bit of fatigue, but the only reason I mention it is because realistically, the only thing that I have seen is just getting back to lung shape as far as running. So listening to everybody talk about these long and arduous distances, I'm a little bit jealous, because I definitely am not in that, even though I had never had a cough or anything of that nature. So yeah, so it was very real for us, even though it was not at all actually serious or dramatic. We were very lucky.
How do you know? Did you take the normal test, or did you take the antibody test?
We took the normal test, but we were definitely ill for 2 weeks. But under normal circumstances, I would have worked through the whole thing and not thought anything of it.
Yeah, it was more like a fatigue situation. We keep calling it COVID brain. It was just a little, I compare it to kind of like hungover brain, when you're a little bit like, I probably need some water. We drank a lot at noon for about a week.
When was that?
About a month ago.
Yeah, June. Yeah. So.
I used to have hair like you do. That's a major side effect.
Just lose all the hair.
Oh, it just fell right out. Look at that. It's like a combination of you and Noah. I mean, you used to look good. Huh? All fell out.
That's fair. No, you guys have been amazing. It's so good to have the consistency for us is awesome too. When people come, they're like, all right, get my Huss beers. They're like, they don't even, because they're like, I want to get to the beer and hang out and drink the Huss beer and hang out with my friends, Like, it's pretty cool. Yeah. It's awesome.
Well, we're missing all of you guys and all the races and everything. And hopefully we'll be able to be back sooner than later.
For sure.
Yeah, pretty wild time, but as long as we're healthy, right? We're good.
Absolutely.
Back in it.
Well, Kogala, do you want to say anything, Jamil? They weren't able to come on, but
we want to thank Kagala. Hopefully we'll get him on to one of these streams before the summer's over. But of course, running at night, just like Mandy was even pointing out, a lot of times you got to have a light with you. So Kagala is one of our sponsors and partners for the year. So they've got some really cool lights. I will actually go pull it up real quick on the screen. They've got these adventure lights that are LED, and I use them in pretty much all of my 100-mile and the 200-mile race that I did.
Yeah, it's similar to what Nick is wearing right in that picture on his chest. I know it's not the exact same one, but
yeah. So both of us were actually, yeah, that's exactly it. You can see it on Nick's chest there in the video.
It's like a strip of LEDs, like 5 or 6 lights.
Yeah, 5 LEDs, and it plugs into a. Here, can you see my screen now? So let's see here. Photos. You can kind of see it. It's a flexible light. You can attach it to your pack, and it plugs into these USB battery packs. And you can also use any of your own USB battery packs. It's all rechargeable, which is great. So you're not, throwing batteries out all the time. And this thing is super bright and it has a wide beam. So if you're looking for a really good light, you can see like how amazing that spread is there. It's really an advantage to have a really bright light. It almost seems like it's daylight out there when you're running with these. So we definitely want to shout them out, thank them for the support of Aravaipa this year. That's really important for us and our ongoing operations. So support Kagala, check them out. I think it's kind of a new wave of lighting solutions here for ultra running. And yeah, especially if you're trying to film at night, there's nothing else that I would recommend using other than this. So
yeah, I think the cool thing about it too is the battery packs, where like I used it at UTMB, where it's like you go through 2 nights, at least I did, and you're able to charge. I'm charging my phone that you have to have. I'm charging my watch that I have to have, and then plus the light. So it's amazing to have 3 USB ports on a single thing that's also powering my light through the night. So it's definitely a cool system.
Yeah, definitely. And you can get different size battery packs. Here's a little quick look at their store here. They even have these filters. So they have like a red and green light you can put over top of them. But yeah, it's good stuff.
Cool.
We have a couple more chat room questions here I want to touch on. Let's see. We have the average runner is asking about any news about in-person events in Arizona. At the moment, we are working on updating them after our first in-person race in Colorado. So we hope to have information hopefully by the end of the month on some August events. We're optimistic that we have a good program to, have a low risk activity, because, getting out there and exercising is super important right now, and just for physical and mental health, as you guys know. Let's see, running at altitude, any virtual half marathons coming up. So the Vertigo has a 20K, which is almost a half marathon. That would be the closest thing to it. Aaron Wagner really hopes that we can pull off the Cocodona 250. I agree with you. I'm pretty positive we're going to be able to hold that event, spread out over 250 miles. I think that, and it's next May. So, we'll see. Maybe not everyone in the world can travel to it, but I think if you're domestic, you'll have a good shot at doing that one. Wesley David shouts out the Kagala light as well. Runs at night up at Reach 11 and takes the raw light with him. Cool. Well, thank you guys all to all of our guests. We've got, again, Leah and Jeff Huss, Mandy, and Graham. Do you guys have anything else you want to chime in with? Otherwise, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for putting on this series. It's been great.
Congrats on your first ultra.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Yeah, now I need to do like 100 miles. Then I'll be like, I still won't be satisfied, but I'll get there.
Cool. Well, thank you,
Thank
everybody.
You guys all.
Appreciate
Hope
it.
to see you all soon. Hope
Yes,
we can get
thank
back
you,
to
Leah.
racing soon. Yeah.
See you guys.
Cool. I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. And yeah, hopefully you guys all finish off your week strong, and we'll hopefully see you in August, either virtually for Vertigo and Sinister, or possibly even in person. Stay tuned. We will update you guys on all of our Ayurveda channels. Thanks again for joining us for the party stream, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
guys.